Okay, all of you listen. So today we are going to see what is inheritance. So already we have seen abstraction, encapsulation and polymorphism. Okay, so today we are going to see about inheritance. So we already know the definition. Inheriting the properties and behavior from one class to another class, we call it as inheritance. So the same thing it is given here. Classes can be derived from other classes, thereby inheriting fields and methods from those classes. Okay, so the class that is derived from the another class, we call it as subclass, or it also can be called as derived class, extended class or child class. This and all we already know. And the class from which the subclass is derived is called as superclass or parent class or base class. Okay, what? And why we are doing this inheritance in Java programming is, if you are already having some code in some class and we are creating a new class now, we need not to write the code from scratch. We can inherit that code from the class already we have defined. So code reusability and reusing of the fields is the main thing about the inheritance. Okay, what? I will explain in the code again. So a subclass which inherits all the members like fields, methods and nested classes from its parent class or superclass. And again, constructor is not the members. While seeing the simple Java programming, we have seen inside a class we are having the data members and the member functions. Initially we have seen like that only. After that we introduce the constructor concept. So constructor is not the member. Okay, so constructor is used only to initialize the data members. So constructor is not the member, so it is not inherited to the child class from the parent class. But we can call the constructor from the child class through some technique. Here you are using super keyword, a keyword called super. With that we can call the constructors of the parent class from the child class. Okay. So this is the theory part of inheritance. Do you want to repeat it or you already know it? Nothing but we are inheriting the properties and behavior from one class to another class is called as inheritance, and the class which is derived we call it as subclass, and from the class which we are deriving we call it as superclass or parent class, and it is for the purpose of code reusability. Okay, and the constructor is not a data member, so it is not inherited. If you want, we can call the constructor of the parent class from subclass or from our driver method, driver class also. Okay, wow. So what are the things we can do in the subclasses? The inherited fields can be directly used. That means, like if we are having some data members inside a class, in the same way we can use the inherited data members also. I will explain it in the code again. Okay. Then you can declare a field in the subclass with the same name as the one in the superclass. This we call it as hiding the field, but it is not recommended. It makes some confusions in the programming. So just know what are the things we can do, but it is not recommended. Okay. And you can also declare new fields in the subclass. Apart from the data members inherited from the parent class, we can also define our own data members for the child class. Okay, what? Then inherited methods can be used directly. Also, we can override the methods inherited from the parent class. We already seen overloading. What is meant by overloading? The method signature, the method name is same, but the number of arguments or type of arguments and the return type may vary. that we call it as overloading. Here the method signature itself same. That means the return type, the method name, the number of arguments or the type of arguments, everything will be same as parent class in the child class. That we call it as overriding. Okay, so which method will be called? Either the method inside the subclass or method in the parent class. Which one will be called? We can call based on the things we have used in our code. Okay, that we will see later. And you can write a new static method in the subclass that has the same signature as one in the superclass, thus hiding it the same way. The signature all same, but because it is static, it can be called through the class, not through the object. So it only depends only if you are creating a method of static inside a subclass, we can call that method using that class name alone. So that's why we are hiding the same method which is present in the parent class. Okay, everything we will see in the code. And you can declare new method in the subclass. Apart from the methods inherited from the parent class, you can create your own method also inside the subclass. Okay, so and one more thing, the super keyword. So using super keyword, you can call the constructor of the parent class. Okay, so one by one we will see. Suppose a few of you might not understood what I am saying now, but through code I will explain again. So here see, I am creating one class student with 3 data members, name, roll number and marks. And I am having constructor for this class to initialize the values for the data members. And I am having one method, display details. This is my class. I am having a class student with 3 data members, one constructor and one method. Okay, so now I am trying to create another class called college student, which might contain the same properties and behavior of the class student. Yes or no? So student is a generic class. Now specifically I am creating one class called college student. Definitely it will have the same property and behavior of the class student. Okay, so that's why I am trying to inherit the properties and behavior of the student class. So using the keyword extends, I can inherit the properties and behavior of the class student. So this is the syntax: class name extends the class name of the which class I want to inherit. Okay, so class college student extends student. So here, apart from the data members already present in the parent class, I want to define 2 more data members called college name and the course. Okay, these are the things we have seen in that PPT. You can directly use the data fields. You can introduce new fields also. Okay, and here I am having the constructor for this particular class college student, and I am having another method called display college details. This is for this subclass college student. I am creating one method. I am also having the method display details because I inherited this to the subclass. So this is the own method inside the subclass. This one is the method I am inherited from the parent class. So now the college student having 5 data members: college name, course name, roll number, marks, and one constructor college student, and 2 methods: display college details as well as display details. These are all belongs to the class college student because I am extending the student class. Okay, now I am creating my driver class, I am creating my main method. So I am creating an object for the class college student. So here I am passing name, roll number, marks, college name, course, everything, because my constructor is having 5 parameters. In that only college name and course alone I am defined in this class, but other 3 arguments it is inherited from the student class, that means parent class. Okay, wow. So I am trying to call the method display college details. So in the method display college details, in turn it call the display details method. So display details method also belongs to the college student class. Okay, wow. So in turn it will call the method present in the student class. Okay, wow. So it will print the details here. After that it will execute these 2 lines also. Okay, wow. So this is the very basic example for the inheritance concepts. I will once again repeat. I am creating a class student with 3 data members, 1 constructor and 1 method display details. So this is how my student class over. Now I am creating another class college students. While creating college student itself, I know that there is another class called student. There I am having some data members and member functions. It may be very similar to, or it may be needed in the my new class college student. That's why I am simply extending the student class. Here I am defining 2 more data members apart from the other data members already inherited from the parent class. And here constructor also I am using those data members here. Okay, wow. So here you can see, using super keyword I am invoking the constructor of the parent class. Super of name, roll number and marks. So it will call the constructor in the parent class. So using super keyword I can invoke the constructor of the parent class. So what is the syntax? You have to check. Okay, super of, you can pass the arguments as like you are passing arguments to the constructor. How you are passing arguments to the constructor? The same way you have to write with the keyword super instead of that class name. That means constructor name. Okay, wow. And I am having 1 method in the child class, and also I can use the method already present in the parent class also. Okay, wow. Any doubts? So now the student object will have 5 data members with the values Alia as name, roll number 101, marks 88.5, college name ABC University and the course AD. Like that I have assigned the values to the object student 1. I am trying to display the details about the student 1 object. So it will call here and it will again in turn call the display details. Here it will try to print the student name, roll number and marks along with the college name and course. I hope everyone understood. Okay, so let's run the code. So how to compile? Java C file name dot Java. Then how to run? Java file name. So we can get the output. Okay, wow. Any doubts?